we come up with terms that last. Very soon it will become another greeting style. Happy New Week. Happy New Month started like joke. It has taken over. Celebrations like Valentine, it was on the very low ebb in the last 10 years, but now it's top on the agenda. So probably Happy New Week will come soon. We must find a way of surviving in Nigeria. And I think Happy New Week, Charles.
Interesting.
Let's go.
I'm sure you've been following the primaries that have brought several persons to different positions, flag bearers leading to the Anambra state elections. Which one has surprised you the most?
Well, I did not have surprise. All those people there has been on the race to govern Anambra State. So they are also still having their initiation and immersion rites. The girls been Mwangalo has been there, Nicholas Ukachukwu has been there, Ozigbo has been there, you know, Asoludo, who is the incumbent, has been there. He tried several times until he got the ticket. That's why I tell you that Anambra politics has a way of doing what they call initiation. In Igbo slangs, they say, "I abonya political ajamu," before you get to be given the chance to rule. So you don't just walk in and walk out of Anambra State politics. You have to pass through the same way the one boy process thrives in Igbo land. In the same way, it's political one boy apprenticeship must come and understudy the system, make sacrifices. You come with the first money. You come with your first 50 million, 100 million, 500 million, depending on where your money is coming from. Anambra people will help you do justice to it. Then you recoil and sit back. Maduka didn't appear this time, but he showed face last time. And the B that usually think Anambra prospective politician stung him, and he pulled back. But I'm sure he's still going to come back in the future. So he had his own, own share of that initiation right that Anambra politician. Mwangalo has been consistent. Nicholas Ukachukwu has been. So this is another one that it shows they are coming close.
Right. We saw ABC's primaries. One would have thought that at least, even if for any reason that Valentine Ozigbo was going to lose, it's going to be a very slim margin. Are you surprised with the margin at which Ukachukwu beats Ozigbo? Because Ozigbo just joined the APC with the bid to actually get him the ticket.
So, that's why I'm telling you, Anambra politics is quite different. Anybody who will tell you is a walkover, you have to be there. So if some people have been consistent with the APC for the last 1 year, maintaining structures, so because you are interested in the ticket and you are a good candidate, and you have political miscalculation to live wherever you are, you would have stayed and struggled to be governor of Anambra State under a platform you have worked strongly to build. Because the Igbo say that if you get annoyed and walk away, you lose. The road you have traveled, even if it's more than the one you are, when you are going, you look back and look forward. When you go back, the road you have traveled is more in distance than the one you are going to go. So why pulling up? It means you have washed your hand very clean to go and break pan kernel for chicken. And you come there, they will annoy you, you pull it. That is part of initiation process in Anambra politics. And I tell you.
In the last election, especially presidential election, Anambra, Labour Party scored more than 90%. In fact, it was 95%.
Yeah.
So one would have thought that anybody who is on Labour Party ticket would have stayed to grab the ticket, so that, that's Peter Obi's state.
That aura
that can give you that strength. So do you think that he miscalculated?
That's what I'm saying. I am just saying it because as a personal opinion. But him and his group, he has a campaign team who have been working for him. If you ask me, remember, ask me a single opinion, he was a very, very big miscalculation. Because what it means is that once you lose your platform under your party, unless a Nigerian structure has not guaranteed the individual candidate. Because as individual candidate, he is a force to reckon with. But now, if you must go under a platform, you don't walk away from a platform you have built with all your resources. I know Zibo has been in Anambra, everywhere, and he is somebody that from after the first election, he will start working for the next one. So he has spent money, resources, time, building. Why pulling away at this time? Why? It's miscalculation. For whatever reason, even if the party decide to give another, you still fight under that party for it, because it's in other politics that you find that the two people will be struggling in court who the party identifies, and the people go to the polls to vote for the party. When you settle, when you settle with the person you are fighting who wins the primary, then the other person takes over, because they will tell you it's the party we voted for, not individual. So if me and you are fighting over primaries, I still remain in the platform. And during the election, the Anambra people go and vote. When we settle, it's either you or me. So head or tail, the party still wins. That was what I was expecting him to do. But for whatever reason that made him pull out, it was totally a miscalculation, if you ask my opinion. And that's about it.
What about the chances? I mean, you've seen the candidates that have come out. There are others, but of course we know the top 3 and top 4.
Yeah. You know, in Anambra State, the funny things happen. It was only during the Peter Obi's era that you have they broke the jinx. Peter Obi broke the jinx of second tenure. No governor for a long time survived first tenure, because a lot of that's why I come and look at people who say, why are you talking like that? If it's in my state, certain political trash will not come. You must know you are sitting over ruling some people, about 4-something million people, Anambra people, and not people who walk over. They might not be interested in what you're doing, but they still remember you're there. Anambra people provide their water. Every man without the road, put water, put electricity. They build their schools. So most people in Oka do not do anything for Anambra people. But when they remember you, you don't take them for granted. Bring the money, they will chop it. At the end, those people they call the Anambra political structures are so potent. You don't walk them through. And they deal with the grassroots. Because every Sunday they come for meeting. I come from my ward. I come and write my name. They will feed you, give you drinks, give you allowance to go. So when you Charles want to be governor of Anambra State, you start looking for those structures. When you come, he will bring his people, then they will looking at you. So what do you have for us? First of all, provide what you want to do for Anambra before you tell them what to do for them. They will balance it. And they will tell you the last person who put poster on the wall just left here. He gave us 50 million. So what do you have to say? You will pleading and negotiating. So they will use the word and happy or so it's either you still meeting these structures and give more than their contestant has given them, depending on your candidacy. If your candidacy is so powerful, they can accept anything you give them and promise you winning. And believe me, those structures promise you winning, you win. 3 or 5 minutes to election, they will share SMS to their structures. This is where we're going. Silently, they will decide. That's why you find in Anambra some people who doesn't know those process. After the election, they'll start running around pursuing people they gave money with police. It has happened. I can only say because Patrick Oba is no more there. Ifeanyi Oba, he's fond of doing that. But I won't mention anyone who is living. Ifeanyi Oba, after elections, he will start pursuing those who collected millions. Maduka did it. He gave somebody 250 million. The person disappeared. Now, some other governors, like even the city senators who are interested in have to go around Oka, looking every hotel, looking for the people who collected money for it. But the money has gone and gone into voicemail. So you must know these structures that they are potent, very powerful. As since the last election, they've been sitting every Sunday. You have to go to the chairman of the structures of house. They think it's a kindred meeting. It's political, and they are gauging the feeling of all the people. They will tell you this is what people feel, and those structures don't mess up with those what people feel. At the end of it, no matter the amount, you don't buy an Anambra State election. That's why at times Anambra will look as if everybody is going to die. I will laugh, and I will tell you, no Anambra man will die for any politicians or anything. They will chop your money, but they won't die for you. You call for campaign. There's a popular place in Onitsha, they call it the Centenary Field. APC will call for campaign. You go there, you see the whole Anambra people wearing the uniform of APC. The next day, Apuga will call. You see the whole Anambra wearing the uniform of Anambra. The next day, Labour will call. They will appear. Ijebeko. You don't ask, the Anambra people mutate? The same people. You come in a household, Papa owns the uniform of APC. The firstborn of the house owns the uniform of Labour. The mama of the house owns the uniform of Apuga. That's how the house is shared. The same word. You put vehicle for rally in a ward. Whose turn? Who is calling for what? They say Apuga. Who has the uniform? It's your turn. You go represent them. That's why most people who come from Anambra politics think when you see the crowd, you think you are there. You are not there until the last day. Anambra has a way. You will see there will be threats of violence. Some idiots will go and maybe send with it. But the real Anambra people I go to can never die for any politician. And of course, Anambra politicians know. So you come and do your own thing, they will watching you. The structures are many. You have the market structures. You have personal structures who build. They are very potent in Anambra. So Anambra is a state to watch. If Nigerians study Anambra, you won't have any political violence in Anambra. How many people have you seen fighting in Anambra for anybody? Somebody will say, you won't see it. You go, you do your own, I do my own. You have your uniform for the uniform is what you wear. But when the chiefs are down, they now say, this candidate and this candidate, who has been consistent following this thing? What has he been offering? What has he promised? That this person in Anambra, they will use the word that's the kind of word. This person is struggling to get this governance with 2 hands. You know what it means? So you begin to read, they have a lot of philosophical connotation to Anambra politics. It's not a walkover. Anambra is not a walkover.
Well, it's quite shocking the way manner that the politics of Anambra is going. If you look at recently, I think when the primaries happened, the governor, of course, clinched the Apga's primary ticket, and I saw the message on her handle, Instagram, precisely, the wife of Ikemba, hailing Soludo about the winning of the primary ticket. And I'm wondering, she is serving as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs under this administration, APC. One would have thought that she should have been supported.
Wike, Honorable Minister, is a powerful member of PDP. Who is he serving for? Jagaban is trying to build bridges across. But you still know, that wherever anybody connected with Ikemba Newe, that Kokoroko, if you don't do that, the spirit will hit you hard. So you see that you shift away from Ikemba, or you remain Ikemba. If you are appointed because somebody needs you to reach somewhere. But you don't forget where you're coming from. That's the mistake. Why is it, no matter how you appointment, why is it difficult for whenever the people of Anambra decide what they do? No matter your incumbency and the central power you have, unless you come there and start killing everybody one by one. They are resilient. They know what they want. You don't mess them. You don't, because they are watching. They may not make it. You may suppress them to any point. But when it comes to choosing who sits in Awka government house, I tell you, Anambra people have a hand in it. That's why you must show. Since the days of Peter Obi, since the days of Chris Ngige, the governorship race in Anambra took a new dimension. People are now looking at what you put on the ground because they change the. So every time the bigger shoe to put it. So you see Soludo struggling to also expand the size of that shoe. It's not an easy thing. So that's what the expectation keep growing higher. That's why Anambra, without, let me put it, I'm not a spokesman for Anambra, but I lived and grew up in Anambra to this age and I'm another person. Anambra people have lacked the presence of federal government in Nigeria. There's no, if you check the presence, but the state, at a point, were not owing any single person anywhere. It was the best in education, in health, pension, everything. They are the same way they are struggling and wrestling people. That's how they survive everything. So each time they are praying for a good leader, it's in Anambra you hear the word Ana Alolo, Ana Alolo. They don't say you should not chop when you walk and chop. The Warima said a workshop. So it's where you work is chop, that's workshop. So work and chop. But if you come there and think, is that business as usual, they will surprise you. And that's why that cycle of first turner for all the governors continued until some people now found out the reason is you just come, they're watching you, they hail you, do everything. But at the end of it all, they write you off. Until you have to put something on the ground that will last them.
What is Soludo's chances of getting a re-election? Very
difficult for me to say, but the same thing I've analyzed is also waiting him. So he has to struggle within the last 1 year. He has few months to really prove that point, because his workers, the people working for him. That's why I said in this era of media, some people neglect this media. They think media are the Obiago boys. After they bring money, they send one stupid person to go and settle the boys. The media has passed that. You need to engage the stakeholder. If you cough, tell the people and justify it. But if you are coughing and you say people are hearing and coughing, as the governor you cough, everybody clap, na lie. Some of them don't G-sorrow, they don't care. They are pursuing their businesses, and another man will tell you, and that's another bad angle of it. If they are not people you come and say, hey, say Baba, say, they won't say nothing. Because they struggle for their lives. The only thing that where we are trying to balance is just realize that any foolish policy taken up Oka will affect you in the nature market. So that's why they gradually begin to take interest. Otherwise, all they know is that they see it as festival during the elections. They will be counting time. When are these people going to finish? I go back to my shed. Well, even when you are doing voters registration, some of them will stage football match in the field, in the open streets, because they have time to rest. That's the only time they feel they have holidays. They don't take interest in politics. But quite recently, a lot of people have started tapping, because they find out that if you are in the Headbridge market and they suddenly become chairman of Headbridge market, suddenly your fortune changes. There's no one. What happened? This man put Ogu in his shop. I put Ogu in my shop. Suddenly he's not selling and not selling, but I saw him moving with convoy. So something has happened that a touch with the government changes your life quickly. So the awareness is beginning to build up. But before then, they don't care. Just come, even if you that manage go to the polls. That's why it's easy to do manipulation there in Anambra. But then, quite recently, they're taking interest. But when they speak, every Anambra people speak, you can do anything you want. They've taken their decision. But you must do real conviction. If they're not people you walk away under, you must to really talk and engage them. At all levels. At all levels. So that's it. So if it's only Anambra election we talk today, but 20 governors under fire for delaying 70K minimum wage. And they say, who is putting fire under them? This is just to sell newspaper. They've been there. Who put fire under the one that didn't comply to 30,000? What did they do up till now? Who jailed them? Some of them are out of it and went to the Senate. Who called them to order? Who put fire? The first child, he did not crawl. You expect the second one to run. The same nonsense they're talking here, nobody's putting enough fire. Let nobody deceive you. They will decide to do hide and seek if they want second tenor. They will promise you, like the popular Enugu man said, the Enugu girls are promiscuous. And somebody was wondering, he's the carpenter, he said, why? He said they are promiscuous because if they promise you, they will not come. So his idea of promiscuity is that they promise they don't come. So they have different ideas of paying. They will promise you, they will not come. They will promise you 80,000, 120,000, 150,000. Why not, I said, pay, agree, the ones you pay. The person who is imposing it, is he paying? The person who said you must pay 70,000, what is the structure in place? Where is the constitutional backing? Where is the policy? Who fires who? What is the control of the federal government over who doesn't? Nothing. Nothing on the ground, because if you, like in Nigeria, somebody say, if you know the offense and know the punishment, you will choose. In Nigeria, you know the offense, the punishment is hidden. So, because they know that even the people who put the punishment will go and become offenders. So they don't want to be loud with punishment. After all, that is The first people that will face fire, it's not fire, mouth of fire. Let them bring them out, tie them to the stake, shoot them. That's the kind of fire people will notice. It's not all this mouth of fire. And I hear something I must go before I go, Charles. I've been crying since last night. Let it be a rumor. The reprisal killing coming out of Uromi 16. I saw a visual video. I don't know how true it is. And I hope it's not propaganda. And I've been crying to the security forces. Let this thing be nip at the bud. Because those viral videos are going now that some people were traveling and the bus they were traveling, they caught them and set them on fire. Nobody escaped. Let it be a lie. And let the government and the security forces prove it as lie. Because this profiling has started and killing, if it is true, God knows the way Nigeria is going. I am sure that they know that the violence is not a monopoly of anything. There's this word they say, Bolikaja, or the word they say, Asikacha. Listen, with the hardship and hunger in Nigeria as it is, let nobody take it for granted that this is time you begin to do what you are doing and get away with it. If nobody knows how it's going to end, let the federal government do something hard.
Very important.
Thank you. And God bless Nigeria.
Many thanks, Chris Maduka, for your insight on today's program. It's been one interesting one.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.